Hi, kitty. Are you a good boy? Is Milo a good boy? So many hugs. I'm getting so many hugs. Hey, buddy. Milo. You're being a sweet kitty today.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, At Home with Willowberry. Or if you're new, welcome. But where have you been? I'm so happy to see you here. My name is Valerie, and in today's video, I'm making dinner. But it's not just any old dinner, it's our traditional New Year's Day dinner. For as long as we've been married, Tim and I have made the same delicious meal on New Year's. According to tradition, on New Year's Day, you should eat black-eyed peas, collard greens, pork, and cornbread in order to bring health, wealth, and good luck for the new year. So if you're interested in our New Year's tradition, then I hope you'll stick around and enjoy the video. Happy New Year's, y'all. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday, and I'm wishing you and your loved ones health, wealth, and happiness for the new year. We had a pretty quiet holiday. We celebrated New Year's Eve a day early by going out to dinner and a movie with the boys and Granny. We went to see Wonka and had a really great night out with the family. On New Year's Day, I prepared our traditional holiday meal and baked an apple cake for dessert. For dinner, we're having fried pork chops, black-eyed peas, collard greens, cornbread, and a sweet potato casserole. The casserole isn't tradition, it just happens to be the boys' favorite side dish. According to the tradition, eating pork on New Year's Day is supposed to bring you good luck. Black-eyed peas are for luck, health, and abundance. Collard greens represent money, and cornbread is to bring you gold and good fortune. Who knows if any of it's true, but it's fun to play along. Either way, it's a very delicious meal that we really enjoy eating on New Year's Day. I soaked the dry black-eyed peas overnight, and since they take the longest to cook, I'm going to go ahead and get them started first. I'm going to saute onions and garlic in a little bit of olive oil before adding the black-eyed peas. Once I add the peas to the pot, I'll then cover them with chicken broth and season them with salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, thyme, and bay leaves. I'll also add some ham pieces and a ham hock to add a smoky meat flavor to the peas. Once everything is added to the pot, I'll first bring the broth to a boil and then reduce to a simmer and cook for about 2 hours or until the peas are tender. I'm curious, how many of y'all have heard of this traditional New Year's Day meal? And what are some traditions that you have for New Year's? I'm making a double batch of black-eyed peas today, which means I'm cooking 2 pounds of beans. I don't really measure the seasonings when I'm cooking. I like to season to taste. If I had to guess, I'd say I'm probably using about 1 teaspoon of salt and pepper and 2 to 3 teaspoons of garlic powder, onion powder, and thyme. And I'll be using 3 bay leaves. I always count my bay leaves so I know how many I need to remove before serving. I usually save the ham bone from our Christmas ham to cook in the peas, but today I'm using ham pieces and a ham hock instead to get that smoky flavor.
What are you doing? That's a happy boy. That's a happy boy. I love you so much. Yes, I do.
I wanted to make a dessert to have after dinner tonight. I have a bunch of gala apples that I need to use up, so I went Googling for an apple dessert recipe. I found several that looked really good, and it was hard to pick just one. I came across an apple cake recipe that looked super easy to make, and I just happened to have all the right ingredients in my pantry. I'll link the recipe down in the description box if y'all want to give it a try. The recipe is from spinwithpennies.com, and it's called brown sugar apple cake. To get started, I'm going to peel, core, slice, and dice 3 apples. The recipe calls for 2 apples, but mine were pretty small. I'm using gala apples, but according to the recipe, any type of apple will work. Alrighty, the apples are all ready to go, so now it's time to start making the cake. The next step is to mix the melted butter with the brown sugar and cinnamon in a cake pan, and then top with the sliced apples. This is how we'll get the caramelized cinnamon brown sugar apples that will top the cake when it's all finished. Okay, so the topping is done, so now it's time to make the batter. This is an easy made-from-scratch apple cake, and I bet you probably have everything in your pantry that's needed to make the cake batter, such as milk, flour, eggs, butter, sugar, and vanilla. To make the batter, I'll whisk the dry ingredients in one bowl and the wet ingredients in a separate bowl, and then I'll combine the two. Once the batter is ready, then I'll fold in the apple chunks and pour the batter over the sliced apples. The cake will bake for about 35 minutes or until it's golden brown. I'm really excited to see how this cake will turn out. I've never been much of a baker, and I'm a little nervous because this is an upside-down cake. Believe it or not, I'm pretty sure this is the first upside-down cake I've ever made. But like I mentioned, this recipe seems really simple to follow. So as long as I've followed all the directions, it should turn out okay, right? Well, I sure hope so. We'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so I've got the cake in a 350 degree oven where it will bake for about 35 minutes or until it's golden brown. So now I'm ready to get dinner started. My boys really like sweet potato casserole, especially with pork chops, so I promised to make them one tonight, so that's what I'm going to get started with first. I usually use 2 cans of yams, to which I add brown sugar, cinnamon, salt, pepper, and butter. After it has baked in the oven for about 20 or 30 minutes, I'll then top it with marshmallows. I actually made this dish on Thanksgiving, but I burnt the marshmallows, so I'm going to try real hard not to make that mistake again tonight. Unfortunately, we couldn't find fresh collard greens at any of the local grocery stores, so we're having canned collards instead. I tell you what, the next time I come across fresh collards, I'm going to buy as much as possible and freeze them for purposes just like this. Oh well, as long as we get our greens in on New Year's, I guess that's all that matters, right? Well, next up, I'm going to go ahead and start preparing the pork chops. We have both thick cut and thin cut bone-in pork chops to cook tonight. After rinsing the pork chops in cold water, I'll then dry them off with paper towels. I'll be frying these pork chops with a breadcrumb topping. I'll be using vegetable oil to fry the pork chops in after I've dredged them with flour, eggs, and breadcrumbs. The brown sugar apple cake smells so good, and I'm pretty sure it's finished cooking, so I'm going to go ahead and pull it out of the oven. I'll let it cool down a little bit before I try to flip it upside down. Or would it be downside up? Upside down? Downside up? I don't know. Before I flip it over, I'm going to let it cool down a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to go finish setting up my fry station. I need a bowl for flour, one for eggs, and one for breadcrumbs. I'll be seasoning the breadcrumbs with salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and parsley. fry station is all set up, so let's go check in on the apple cake. I think it's cooled down enough for us to flip it over. I just hope that it comes out all right. Wow, y'all, the cake turned out so pretty and it looks delicious. I can't wait to try it out, but first I need to start frying up the pork chops. The pork chops are coming along nicely, but I still have several more to fry up. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get the cornbread started. I'm using Krusty's brand cornbread today. Dinner is just about ready, y'all. I just have a few more pork chops to finish cooking while the cornbread is in the oven baking. It won't be long now before we're ready to sit down and enjoy this good old-fashioned Southern meal.
Alright, y'all, it's time. Everything is finally finished cooking, except for the last couple of pork chops, so I'm going to go ahead and dish up the rest of the food and get it on the table.
Dinner's ready, y'all, and it smells amazing, and we can't wait to dig in. I'm going to make sure I eat plenty of black-eyed peas because I sure do need all the good luck, good health, and prosperity that I can get in the new year. And it's a good thing I love collards and cornbread because who doesn't need more wealth in this day and age? All right, well, right after dinner, I'm going to have a little taste test with the brown sugar apple cake, so stick around. My word, y'all, where has this apple cake been all my life? It is so good. You have got to give this recipe a try. The cake is moist and tastes buttery and full of vanilla, and the caramelized apples are the perfect topping to the cake. Well, y'all, that was a very delicious meal, and the apple cake was the perfect dessert to finish off our New Year's Day festivities. I really hope y'all had a happy new year, and I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I'm ready to call it a night, but not before a little playtime with Max and Willow. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you later. See you next time. Bye, y'all.
It says I got a toy. Willow, bring me the toy.